Hall of Famer Tony Smith here. You're listening to the home of Marquette basketball. 94.5 ESPN is WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station. It's time for the best 60 minutes of your life. This is the Homer Hour, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studio at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee. Here's Emmy Award winner Homer.
Marquette basketball coming up very soon in a half hour of the pregame. Until then, a special Homer Hour. The Jim Chones Homer Hour. Marquette just retired his jersey, number 22. I had a chance to talk with him. You have to listen to the entire interview, about 45 minutes. You can go to WisconsinOnDemand.com starting at 5:30. But right now, the best of that, Jim Chones, Marquette superstar, and so much more. Good evening. Now, are you Jim? I look on Wikipedia and they say Bunny. I got to ask about that. Let me tell you about Bunny. My father had his hands outstretched. They stood me up. I caught my balance, and he told me to walk, and I tried to walk. And instead of walking Homer, I bounced like a bunny. And they fell out laughing and said, look, he's bouncing like a bunny rabbit. So they gave me the nickname Bunny. Did anybody in your life outside of your family call you or know you that your name was Bunny?
Well, yeah, my brothers and sisters. My mother would call me Bunny. My auntie would call me Bunny. You know, so a lot of my people call me Bunny.
All right, Jim Chones. I don't know where to start. I said I think I know more about you than you do. So I do games with Jim McElvain. And all he could ever say was, Racine St. Cat's, there was nobody who was the best ever because nobody, even I, was never in the league of how good Jim Chones was. Were you that good in high school?
Well, I was the tallest, put it like that. I was 6'11". I had played against, for 3 summers, from the time I was in 9th grade to the time I was a senior in high school. I would go to Chicago and play at the Chicago Boys Club against Bob Love and Bob Boozer,
sure,
and all those guys, Borwinkle, as a 9th and 10th grader. And then I'd go up to Laverne Way off 3rd, and I'd play against Freddie Brown, Johnny Johnson, and all of those great players. What's the little guard that was the leading scorer in the country from the small school?
John Rinka.
I played against Rinka, and he'd shoot everybody out. George Thompson would almost be fighting everybody. So from the time I got out of high school, I had played against great players. And one thing, my high school coach had wanted me to go to Stevens Point because at the time, remember Coach Bennett? That's where he started.
Wow. Well, let's get back to Rinka. By the way, Shaka Smart went to the same school as John Rinka. And when I heard, yes, when Kenyon, I went that and I said, I know you're not the greatest scorer.
Oh, we know that.
Because they told stories about Rinka, who was from Shorewood. He was so good. He said, I got to go play the best players, black, white, I don't care what color. And right. I don't know if that's true or not. That was just.
It is true. I've played with him and against him. And I seen him eat up Clarence Sherrod, Freddie Brown, and all those guys in one afternoon, and just shooting. If they had a three-point line, he would have made 7 out of 10. Plus, he was strong. He was built like a football player.
All I know is stories that I heard. So let's go back to you're in what grade when you played against pros, or when you go to?
Well, let me tell you what happened. I was a junior in high school, and they sent me to Ed McCauley's basketball camp, which was in Wisconsin.
Okay.
Easy Ed McCauley. So I went to his camp. He made me a counselor, right? So the first guy to come in was the leading scorer in the Big Ten from Purdue named Terry Dissinger.
Sure.
And all the kids kept saying, we want you to play Chones. And I'm dunking and everything, so I became the class hero. So I played Terry Dissinger to 10 and beat him, right? And then 2 days later, they brought Oscar Robertson.
Yeah.
So the big O comes in, he's shooting a shot. I'm watching his form, and I'm watching. So,
and you're how old again? How old are you again?
I'm about 16, maybe 16, 17. And I said, I could block that. And then the kids are saying, play Chones. He just beat the leading scorer in the Big Ten a week ago, 3-4 days ago. So I go out there against Oscar, and Oscar's feeling me out. All of a sudden he bumps me, and he takes 2 dribbles, and I block the shot. And the kids are going crazy. And that was the worst thing I could have done. Because the next 3 shots he made in a row, I tried to block him, and his elbow went in my teeth and my lips.
And please, talking with Jim Chones, please emphasize to everyone how much of the truth that is. That you're not exaggerating.
Oh, no, I wouldn't lie about that.
No, but I mean, Oscar Robertson is legendary, but you're not the first one to tell me those guys, they were tough. And when somebody challenged them, whatever the age, they responded. Am I right?
Yeah, and he did. I got a bloody nose, I got a busted lip, and my teeth were bleeding.
Did he give you a look as well, or not?
No, those big eyes just looked, and the block, he just nodded his head. He threw the ball back to me, and I gave it to him. And the next one up, he busted my lip. He made the shot, busted my lip. The next one up, he cracked my teeth. And then the third one, he hit me in the nose and made the shot.
I can't speak for you, but I'm that age and experiencing that. I think at that moment, I can play basketball and make money and play for the rest of my life. What thoughts did you have at that age with just those experiences, and you can add the others that occurred clearly soon after?
Well, my high school coach was pushing me toward Bennett, right, because he knew Bennett.
Right.
John Gardner. And I didn't want to go there, and I said, Coach, you know what? I've been playing against Division I players, the big schools, and I'm playing pretty well. Well, you need to go to Stevens Point. So a friend of mine in my neighborhood who taught me how to play, a guy named Wally Booker. Wally Booker coaches girls down in Racine. I think he's at Case. And so he's been doing that for 35 years, right? He coached Karan Butler in AAU. He coached Jamil Guare's son, and the assistant coach at Wisconsin, Chambliss. He coached
Sheree Chambliss.
And so, he just kept saying, he said, man, you can play on that level. He said, go over to St. Catherine's. He said, they've had guys that played pro. I said, oh, they did? So I walked over there one day, sat, the coach started talking and said, look, I started at Park High School. I don't want to cause any bad feelings. You know, if you want to come here, fine. If you don't, no hard feelings. So I walked back home, told my dad I wanted to go to another school, and he said, do it. And so the next day, I think it was about March 15th, Jim Chones walked from it was off 12th Street. Park was on 12th Street, and so was St. Catherine's, but they were like 3 miles apart. And I walked over to St. Catherine's and enrolled. And you're talking about a guy that lost friends, well, supposedly friends.
It doesn't sound like it was a tough decision for you.
No, it wasn't, because I saw where his guys had gone. They had gone mid-major. They had gone to major schools. They were just a great bunch of guys, you know. And so I wanted to go there. And so I never will forget, Wally Booker said, no, he's a real coach. So he taught me everything. You know, John McGuire was a student of the game. He was the first guy to run the Bucks basketball camps. The Bucks trusted him. He ran all their camps, organized them and everything. At that time, he was the number 1 high school coach in Wisconsin. And he never swore. He used to call me a ding-a-ling. And he called, just like I said yesterday, he called me a ding-a-ling.
I know,
so
and you said that, and I want to say, wait a minute, Jim, why? What did you do that made him call you a ding-a-ling, or did he call everyone a ding-a-ling? Because the one thing everybody says about you, not how you block shots, how smart you were as a basketball player.
Well, I got a lot of it from him. After 5 or 6 ding-a-lings per practice, making the wrong move.
All right.
No. And the thing about it, he always explained everything. He said, look, when they double team you, if you can still get the shot, I'll take the shot. But if you can't, if 2 guys around you, Jim, that means someone's open. You have to pivot, You show them the inside pivot, reverse pivot. I said, oh, I've been doing those. Yeah, we'll use them so that you can have vision. And then find the open man. You find the open man. I've got enough kids out here that can make shots. We had Dave Heide, 5'8", could shoot almost at half court, a two-handed set shot. I had a guy named Paul Matson who ended up going to Xavier. And I'm telling you, he can make jump shots like layups. And then we had the big guy, Steve Seitz, 6'7", 250 pounds. And if you frowned, he'd poke you in the mouth with an elbow. So we had everything we needed, and all I had to do was make the right decisions. And after I learned how to do that, the game became so much easier. But a lot of that credit would have to go to John McGuire, my high school coach.
Now, I can say I'm not surprised. After all you accomplished at all these levels, you remember those players and those times like yesterday because you weren't Jim Chones yet. Right?
No, still Bunny. I was still Bunny.
Part 2 of Jim Chones, the best of a 45-minute interview. And again, it's all available at WisconsinOnDemand.com starting at 5:30. Part 2 next.
More of the Homer Hour coming up on ESPN Wisconsin. Join Homer on the trip of a lifetime to see the many shades of Ireland in August. Text Homer to 800-990-3776 for info.
We've got a heavy ride out there and a few issues. First of all, on 94 eastbound, just past Highway F, right lane blocked with a broken down vehicle. Another one just past Barker Road as well. We've also got a broken down vehicle on the left shoulder at about 70th Street. So we're seeing delays in all these areas. 70th Street, basically eastbound is going to be slow from 84th Street all the way to 35th. We've also got slowdown southbound 43 from just before Capitol Drive all the way down through the Marquette to the KK River. And off the freeway system, we do have a crash. It's on Highway 100 southbound at Wolmer Road. The center lane is blocked. Wolmer Road is just south of Oklahoma Avenue on Highway 100. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight, mostly clear, a low of 12 at the lake, 7 inland. Then tomorrow, partly cloudy with a high of 29. Weather's brought to you by Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center in Waukesha. Join their 2-man scramble tournament and play TPC Scottsdale for a chance to win cash through the 28th. Sign up at WisconsinIndoorGolfCenter.com. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Ah, baseball season. So close you could almost smell it.
Off the top of the wall and out of here! Garrett Mitchell, a go-ahead 2-run home run in the bottom of the 8th inning.
The Brewers are back on the field for spring training. Catch Cactus League action right here on 94.5 ESPN Sunday, February 23rd.
Hi, this is Michelle Voskel, CPA and team member at Right Choice Tax Resolution. We have talked with a number of new clients who told us the same story. They had a tax situation and went with one of those national firms with the TV and radio ads. You know the ones. They guarantee they can settle your tax owed for pennies on the dollar. They take a $10,000 fee up front, and then you never hear from them again. We are a local firm and just want to help you resolve your situation so you can get on with your life. Don't let your bank account get wiped out, your paycheck or Social Security get garnished, or a lien put on your house so that you can't sell it or get refinanced. The state can even put a hold on your occupational license. Make the right choice and call 844-222-1192 or visit rightchoicetax.us today. Schedule a free meeting so we can talk and come up with a solution to solve your situation now. It will not go away if you bury your head in the sand. The first meeting is free. Call now, 844-222-1192 or visit rightchoicetax.us.
Are things getting a little stale? Need to bring back some excitement? Rekindle the romance and love your ride this month at Chones. Your Milwaukee Metro Region Chones dealerships are showing the love with new vehicle specials you'll adore at nearby locations in Oak Creek and Greenfield. From the affordable Buick Envista SUV to the rugged GMC Sierra pickup, they have vehicles for every budget. Thinking pre-owned? Visit your local dealership website for a sweetheart deal on one of our 10 pre-owned super specials and swipe right for service specials on brakes, tires, and oil changes.
I'm Brian Brian Bohm, General Manager of Cunis of Oak Creek.
And I'm Bill Eater, General Manager of Cunis of Greenfield.
We would like to invite you to take advantage of these great monthly specials.
And remember that your vehicle will be covered by our exclusive No Fear Lifetime Powertrain Warranty, included with new and qualified pre-owned purchases.
Call or stop in today for your VIP appointment.
Love your ride this month at Cunis. Start your search online at CunisBuickGMC.com.
Introducing the newest carbless flavor, Mango Vodka. Flavored with the essence of the ripest, freshest mangoes, carbless mango vodka will transport your taste buds to a sunny beach getaway. New flavor, still the same carbless crafted cocktails with 0 carbs, 0 sugars, and only 100 calories. Enjoy a refreshing vodka cocktail without the guilt. 4 packs of the new carbless mango vodka cocktail are available in stores near you. Find your bliss today at drinkcarbless.com and escape with every sip.
This is the Homer Hour on 94.5 ESPN.
More from Jim Chones. It needs no introduction.
Marquette had invited me to a banquet, a sports banquet, that they have at the end of every season. But it was an open period, and I was going to visit Minnesota with Bill Fitch, right?
Yeah.
So I go to the Marquette banquet, and guess who the guest speaker is? Bill Fitch. And so I listened to all of that. George Thompson got up and he spoke, and he was so eloquent. You know, that's one thing George could do.
Yes.
George could talk. He could speak. And then I was listening to him, and then Bill Fitch gets up, and he's the keynote speaker. And after his speech, he said, listen, if you don't go to Minnesota where I'm at, then you've got to go to Marquette. And everybody started laughing and everything. So in one sit-down, I met my college coach, and I also met my pro coach, because Bill ended up coaching the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Wow!
And and he coached me for almost 4 or 5 years.
Now, what year were you? Were you after? Was this after your junior year, sophomore?
Yeah, okay. After my junior year.
All right.
Then the next time came when Herb Cole and Senator Cole and Al came down to Racine, came over to our house, sat down in front of my dad. My mom was ironing to keep her nerves down in the dining room, watching everything. My dad was holding his nuts and smoking a Marlboro, sitting in a broken down chair that was being held up by a cinder block. And Al sitting over there, the tile floor. You know how if you tear tile, it'll almost look like the edge of the map. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So the tile was torn up, and we had left it torn so long that the wood underneath had splintered. So it was kind of dangerous to walk around the house barefooted. You might get a big splinter in your foot. But anyway, Al's looking around at everything. He and my dad are talking. They're almost whispering. They're talking. And then all of a sudden, Al says, Jimmy, called my dad Jimmy. He said, Jimmy, if he does what I tell him, he'll be a pro. And my dad nodded. And after my dad left, my dad said, you got to go there. I said, okay. And that's how it happened.
Because Al said you could be a pro, or what do you think influenced your dad that strongly? Was it that?
Well, we were beyond poor. We were so poor that they take the P out of it, and so we were ore. We had nothing but the love of each other and the respect of my parents, my mother and my father. We used to borrow from people who were poorer than us. I'd run errands in the summer. I'd work out at Piper's Farm, pick onion sets, pick potatoes. I'd pick anything just so I could bring money home. In the winter, I'd go along the lake where the rich folks live, and I'd shovel snow from morning to. I'd get up at 5 o'clock before school, hit 3 or 4 houses, make $10, $15, take it back home. On weekends, all I did was shovel snow, trying to make some money so that my family and my mother and them could eat.
Now, but I want to ask you, because in today's world, there's a feeling that there's such a pressure on kids because the family realizes this changes us forever. Am I wrong? I don't sense that that's what you felt, or that you felt any pressure, feeling that you could change not just your life, but your family's life. What was it like then versus how you have observed just watching kids today?
My father came home one night after a game I had played, and he had sat in the stands and watched me play. And he came up to my room about 2 in the morning, and he had Johnny Walker Red on his breath, and he looked over at me, and he woke me up. He said, Jim, wake up. So I woke up. He said, listen, you have to be something, or the rest won't be nothing. And that was the mandate my father gave me that pushed me to want to be the best basketball player I could be so that I could make money. I use sports as a vehicle. I said, if the worst thing happens, I'll have a great education. I'll be able to get a job, take care of mama, and take care of my brothers and sisters. But that night, when my father looked over at me with those bloody red eyes and that Johnny Walker Red coming out of his nose and his mouth, and he said, Jim, you got to be something, or the rest of them won't be nothing. And he told me what my mission was.
How
true to that.
How old were you then when he said that to you?
I had to be about 16.
Okay.
16.
So when, and we'll get to it, Marquette, you're there a year, and you just never lost. Your record is not possible. When people hear your record, I think he had to go to UCLA. No one had that kind of a record. But anyway, was that when the ABA arrived, and you can explain this whole thing, was that in your mind that made it that easy to do what you had to do? The only version I heard was Al McGuire said that $1.5 million better be in the bank. You do whatever you want, but if it's not in the bank, don't take that contract with the ABA. You take it from there.
Well, when Al, after the game, we had just beaten Jacksonville on national television, and they had a great center.
Artis Gilmore.
No, they had David Brent.
Oh.
Yeah,
okay.
Brent, and he came after him.
Yes.
And Shady was still playing, and all those guys. I think it was Shady was Eau Claire, but they had a great Rex something. Rex, I can't think of Rex's name, but he was a great player, about 6'4" white kid.
Yep, he was a guard.
He was really good.
Yes.
And we beat them on national television. So we're sitting in the locker room, laughing and joking and showering, and Al walks up to me and said, "Go see Gene." I said, "For what?" Listen to what I said. "Go see Gene." I said, "Coach, it's 9:30. Take your shower, take the bus, go downtown, and go up to Gene Smith's office." So I did. He told me where it was. There was a security guy at the gate, at the front door. He let me in, took me up a back elevator to Gene Smith's office. Gene was there, lights on, papers all over the place. You know, he's a heavy smoker. So he was smoking cigarettes. He said, "Look, I just want to let you know, a professional basketball team wants you to play for them." I said, "What did you say?" I mean, I'm just getting over my shyness, and I'm just starting to talk and try to gain a little confidence, and my game was getting better. And he said, "No, they want you." I said, "Well, why don't they wait till after the season? Because, Gene, we're the number one team in the country right now." He said, "No." He said, "They lost Bob Lanier a year or two ago when he promised the same thing and then ended up going to Detroit. So if you want the money," the owner, they got him on the phone, Roy Bowe, strictly New Yorker. "Hey, if you want the money, you can have it, but I'm not waiting till the end of the year because I've been screwed like that before." And I looked at Gene. I said, "Can I call you right back?" He said, "Sure." I called Al. And I told him
wait a minute. Let me interject. You had never heard or had no idea that this existed. This was the first.
No. Yeah, I had no idea. I didn't even know people were watching me. I know I was being rated, but I didn't know where. And so I talked to Al. He said, "Did Gene tell you?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "What are your thoughts?" I said, "I like college." He said, hell, you can't stay in college. Hey, you got a mother making salads at an Italian restaurant, and you call that making a living? Your father just died? Hey, look, you got to go. I wouldn't feel good if you broke a leg or something and blew this great opportunity. You got to go. Take the money, Jimmy." And so I hung up the phone, and he said, "What did Al say?" He told me to go. And even though we were 49-1 at the time.
Well, wait a minute. I think you had to believe that you could win the national championship. If I'm right, UCLA had like Curtis Rowe, Sidney Wicks, but
that's right.
You had to. I'm assuming you thought you were going to win the national championship. Or
I thought we were. I thought we were because, I never faced with maybe a couple man-to-mans. everything I faced was a damn zone. So I wasn't having fun in college playing. I was getting hit here, double teamed, triple teamed. It just wasn't fun. You know what I mean? And it was so difficult.
And the year before, the only game you lost was at Ohio State in the tournament, and Dean Miminger fouled out the only time ever, and everybody I know at Marquette says.
Oh, yeah. They set us up. I don't care what anybody says. If someone disputes it, let's look at the film and the fouls they called against Dean. Are you crazy? The guy, the most intelligent basketball player I've ever played with was him and Kareem. And you mean to tell me he's going to foul out the most important game of our career?
Jim Chones, the entire interview, WisconsinOnDemand.com, maybe later tonight after Marquette basketball, and the Marquette pregame next.
Delays still. Eastbound 94 got a broken down vehicle that was in traffic just past Highway F. They've been able to move that off to the right shoulder. Still heavy from Highway 16 all the way to Barker Road, and then back on the brakes from 76th Street all the way through the stadium.